So good afternoon everyone, this is Joe, which is the owner of calanthe. So throughout the Q session, we'll be asking a lot of business questions in our business project. So basically, Mr. Joe, the first question is, who is the founder of this company?
Actually, I came out with the idea first about combining Malaysian and India coffee. So of course, I'm alone not possible. So I had the idea, and I get the first person to join me, which was he will conducting the next interview sessions. So with two person, and then slowly I need more members. That's why I extend my team members, and we have 6 partners here. Yeah, so consider this 6 partner from this place, and then founder can consider we are the all founder. So 6 of yes.
So when is this business founded?
10 years ago, 2005.
2005, which is this year we mark the 10th anniversary, right?
Exactly.
Is there anything particular that actually inspired you to start this business?
I actually from business school. I learned from business school. So during my college times, I set myself up to start my business. So what kind of business I never fixed. I just want to be a businessman. So then later, I'm more focused into the topic that really can help me in future. And then, of course, I need to, before I start a business, I need to learn from somebody. So I work for people first, work for people to gain more experience. So along the way, I can come experience. Because what we gather from book is only theory, but we need knowledge how to do it. So after certain years, I think it's appropriate to start my venture like business because I'm at that time quite young. Then I got not much burdens, not much responsibilities, which I can try my luck. If I fail, I can go back to work for others. If I'm too old to start, hard for me to move around. I have 10 children to pay forever. So I choose 10 years because that was the time that I think is appropriate for me to start business.
The next question is, what are the obstacles that you face when you first start this business?
Of course, when we study books, the main theory, and at the same time we also gather from some books elsewhere. And there's one book mentioned about fantasy desire. So fantasy desire, hayal. And so many businessmen before they form the company, or on the way they form the company, they usually have a lot of fantasy desire. Okay, I can like for example, I just count one coffee will be like Starbucks 15 ringgit for example. One day they sell 10. How much, and then the profit, how much you gain, you can mark, you can count whatever. So they have can, and then one day I serve 100 customers, whatever. But then, actual fact was not like that. When you into a business, you face the reality, it's not like that. So what I need is a fantasy desire. So of course, the main obstacle I do face last time, when I first started 10 years ago. So if you remember, 10 years ago, Jonker Street, 2005. So how many tourists on Jonker Street every day? Including weekend, how many? Night markets. Yeah, 10 years ago, the night markets, you can count, I think less than 10 stores. On Jonker Street itself, less than 10 stores that time. And one store here, Jakarta Cafe, got the cafe there. There's one store there, Chapitao. Then quite far, another one, the Quick One, whatever, there's another one. So the main problem is to talk about survival. Survival, yeah. So when you start a business, of course, you need to face the reality, yeah. Unless you have the grandparents or parents multi-rich ask you to do something just for fun, yeah. They throw the money, they don't mind. It is one day you open 2 hours and then every Saturday and Sunday you off, something like that. That is different. But you want to talk about survival now. How to break even the first things. But why I say the fantasy desire, but because the businessmen when they came up, they thought that I can make money. Yeah? I got no upper limit. If I work for people, 1 month is 3,000, means 3,000. If you do a today Facebook, 3,000 you got no enough to survive. Yeah? So, and what I say that there's no upper limit. 1 month I can earn 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, how about 100,000 every month I can make money. Wow, make so much. Work for people 3,000. But at the same time, I will advise people the fantasy desire is good for you to hire, but the actual fact is you must lose 10,000, 15,000, and maybe every month you lost 100,000. The same thing is pros and cons. So the main obstacle I didn't face last time was the survival.
May I know what's the rough capital to start this business?
I started, I was quite fantasy desire in the regions. So I started with very low capital. Like today I'm not a capital. So I start with 70,000. 70,000. You just simply ask a cafe, they easily 200, 300, 400. If you want to use a branded cafe, easily 1 million. You have to start up the cost for 1 million. But I use 70,000 to set up this cafe. So now today, even those professional people say that you are really 70,000. The wiring itself cost me 8,000. And I just buy a machine, how much. So I can survive through the period and sustain until today. It's really a miracle. God bless you.
Do you think it's hard to start a business in this industry?
Very simple, very easy. You just need to go to register, 60 ringgit. It's an SSM, you got a license, and then go to MTBB, take a course, and you make some injection, and 2 fork and 2 spoon, you can start a business. That's why I say, what I call food and beverage industry is very easy to set up. Very simple. Everybody.
Why should you pay me restaurant?
I do like to do research, and then I have various kind of hobby. Because my hobby is a little bit hot, not from others. Like for example, calanthe. Calanthe actually, it's hard to pronounce. Some people say like calanthe lah, whatever lah, hard to pronounce. In terms of marketing, I against the odds in human history. The hybrid between 2 plants. In terms of orchid kingdoms, Dr. Domini in 1854, 200 over years ago, he using 2 calanthe. Calanthe macuta and Calanthe macuta. Joint hybrid is 2 plants in 1854. And then 2 years later, 1856, the flower blooms. So to me, Calanthe, because as I told you, there's 6 partners. So the 6 partners gathered together and we have different expertise. So Dr. Domini, when he planted the plants, seeding, and then become big plant, whatever, and many people take care, water, whatever, fertilize the plants. But to me, the Calanthe is start from very small, tiny seeding, and slowly become a small little plant, and we hope it grows. So finally, I named the thing called Calanthe. So this is the first meaning about my English name called Calanthe. So in terms, I want to use a Chinese name. So my wife would suggest to use calanthe. So if you know what is meant by calanthe, certain group of people, they walk past my cafe, don't like to stay. Because calanthe in Chinese, in the Old Testament, is mean land of cleanliness. It's a place promised by God. Constant flow of milk of honey. A place very fertile. You go there, you flower tree, whatever. So it's a very good place, fertile lands, and good place for people aiming to go to calanthe. Calanthe is a good place, God promised lands. So this is what I'm meaning by calanthe. But in terms of you go to calanthe, you know the history for 40 years. Moses wandered in the wilderness, and then how many people entered the calanthe. So my cafe name itself is I can talk the story many hours. Calanthe is very difficult. This journey is very difficult. When I set up, I know that it's difficult. So I name it calanthe. So in order to achieve the calanthe status, to enter calanthe, we need to go through so many trials, so many difficulties, so many obstacles to against, and depend on God's miracle, and then hopefully one day we can achieve to enter the calanthe. I can elaborate further, but I think that's
Like you mentioned before, you have 6 partners. So how many employees and branches do we have?
We have, right now we have only 1. So only this one. This only one. So and there is because business talking about the inbound logistic and outbound logistic. And it's a flow, a change. So last time people tell me you're stupid, you need to do number games. Like for example, people duplicate. Okay, there's one brand in Malaysia everybody know. Started at 2005. I also started at 3005. But I don't like to play number game because when you play number games, of course you duplicate the system. In terms of franchisee system, you make a lot of money. You just duplicate it. But to me, I would like to have one cafe. You want to come here. So I come across big bosses came to see me. Okay, next door, seated there, and they tell me up front, sorry, I got no time, but we got a lot of money. Okay, you tell me how much you want to sell your business. I just took over one branch, the popular branch in near your college somewhere there, 600,000. That was 8 years ago. 600,000 I bought over the whole cafe. So yours, Malacca, we let you to play. Out of Malacca, we have 12 states. I want to start all the 12. You name a price, no problem. I do. I want a concept only. So I say, I told him, yes, you have a lot of money, you do not have time. I have a lot of time, I do not have money. But likewise, he told me that you know, I can get my people to travel to 30 states to look for 30 states coffee, nothing special. Yeah, Malaysia is so small. I travel around the world, so no problem. So he said he can gather whatever. So I told him that, yes, boss, you can go to travel around the 13 states. Yeah, he told the boss there, all the different states. He said, hey, the bosses, some of them are much more richer. They don't bother about money also. Yeah, because in terms of 13 states. Yeah, so in terms of business school, we thought about the barrier of entries. You learn how about that? The barrier of entries. Chinese we call 门槛. The door, you need to do something higher so that your children cannot go out, the snake and the scorpion cannot come in. Then it's called 门槛. So the 门槛 must be higher. We call barrier of entries. Yeah. Professor Harry Wisdom said that your barrier of entry must be high. So I say, I set up this cafe very easy. That means the coffee. It's not me who roast the coffee. I go and tell the boss, like, where your hot coffee? Your hot food. I go to see you, okay? I see your father lah. Your father business lah. So I go to uncle, I want to buy your coffee. Come to the market and sell. Can you stand to me always? One time okay lah, come say okay lah. Every time take you. The logistic problem. How about Sabah and Sarawak, Kelantan, Terengganu, Perlis, Kedah? The logistic is my barrier of entries. So people say that I can travel to 30 states to gather all the 30 states coffee. I say no problem. But later, how about logistic? Yeah, logistic. Every time your Sabah coffee no more. Oh, you fly to Sabah, oh, hey, shit cheap. Then hopefully you will not explode for the yeah. Whatever, okay, you go by carrier too. Okay, fine. But what happened that every time you have to fly 30 states, is that difficult? So that's why when I think of my business, I think of a model behind how not for people to overcome it. Yeah. So the coffee doesn't say go lah, they say you go and see the bosses. Yeah. How I go and see them is very miracle. I can press the bell, ding dong, and open the gate. And it's sweet, I'm Joe. Where's the name card? I got no name card, the company not just for. And then you're like, Joe, I want to see the big boss. Big boss, now what's the purpose? I want to talk to the big boss. I think you better see me. I said, no. I want to see the big boss. Who are you again? I'm Joe. What's the name card? No name card. And I can see the boss. I managed to see all the big bosses. Okay, I tell them my dream 10 years ago, 11 years ago when I started my journey to research the coffee. I know nothing. Okay, no name cards, no company. I use what they call Chinese say 牛劲 like a cow. I just go and talk to the boss. I want to see the boss. I want to see the boss. If you are the worker, will you allow me to see the boss? But I managed to see the boss. I talked to them, I influenced them, I persuaded them. Because I had a dream to combine. Yeah, I had a dream to combine. To tell you the secret how I overcome that. Because I told them that, I told them I want to combine Malaysian 13 state coffee. What about? Combine for what? I told them in Malacca is a historical place. I have a lot of overseas foreigner travelers come to my cafe. I tell them that Malaysia, we have our specialty type of coffee, which is called all different states having different styles. So I want to promote Malaysian 13 state coffee. Hey, 有意思. Yeah, allow me to continue. Because I want to combine the 13 states. Yeah, I tell them that Malaysia, why we don't have, like we talk about Vietnam style, okay? You heard about Belgian coffee? Belgian style. And what you look to notice the Belgian pot. We market in the coffee world, we call Belgian pot. You heard about Netherlands drips? Netherlands drip is using ice to brew the coffee. How about that? They're using ice. Yeah, ice to make the coffee. Okay, not hot water. They use ice. It's slowly drip. They call Netherlands drip. That's Netherlands. You heard about French press? French. Okay, Turkey pot. So they have different country, different style. Why not Malaysian? And then we have the so rich history about Malaysian coffee. Yeah, why not I promote? I'll be the first person to link the things. And back to a management concept. What I'm doing actually is using 5S. You heard about 5S? Japanese 5S. Yeah. In Chinese, because the Japanese word I can't remember, but in Chinese very simple. 整理整顿整齐整合. Okay. 整理整顿整齐整合. Then the last one is called 修养. Okay. So 整理整顿整齐整合. What I'm doing is actually combining. I go and gather them, I bring them together, and I'm using a simple format whatever, and I influence them. And that's I want to have this one, and I hope they can support me to complete my dreams. So of course some initially say support you, some they feel not there, I explain further about my dreams. So finally they support me for 10 years. With this afternoon, they have afternoon cappuccino, afternoon tea. So they learn a way of making coffee, and as a worker, you cannot earn much. As a slave, you cannot earn much. So how to make more money to send back to the mainland, they start their own kopitiam. Okay, they came out to start their own kopitiam. So the first cup, the first batch of coffee they do is follow the British style, is cappuccino. So those who drink coffee, cappuccino, is think that they are very trendy. I tell them this is the first batch of coffee that implemented by Hainan Group. So the coffee, because when if you compare Malaysian coffee and European cappuccino, you can see what's the big difference. Malaysian coffee seems very thick. Our local cappuccino is not the European cappuccino because they're influenced by local coffee. They make the coffee very bitter. If you go to Europe, you try the cappuccino, you can't find a little bitterness inside because the European cappuccino is only ganxiang, only nice fragrance, but there's no bitterness. So because of the influence by local kopi, when you serve the European style, they tell you kopi bo gao gao, not thick enough, no kicks. So because of that, they influence to make local cappuccino very thick. Likewise, the first batch they do cappuccino, they sell on market, and during that time, the opium consumption is allowed. You know, about 100 years ago, opium consumption is allowed. So ladies are at home, only men are allowed to have activity outside. So the men, the macho man, the rich man, or coolie, whoever, they drink the kopitiam, the first batch of kopitiam, the cappuccino, so to call. They say, what is this? This doesn't taste for macho men, you know, because they use liquor or whatever. And this is only suitable, so milky for baby, for infant drinks, so milky, no taste, no bitter taste, not macho taste. So that's why in 1926, the first person, 1929. Okay, 1929. The first Ding Ji Yao added sugar. When they add sugar, the different composition, the coffee somehow become much thicker. That's how he started the combining different community into the roasting process about 100 years ago. And then later, throughout all over Malaysia, of course Chinese are creative. You add sugar, your recipe, you add sugar. And mind you, during the period, many people came to start cafe, and only he successful, and he goes for 6 outlets. So he had franchised 6 outlets already. Okay, that was last time. So, and people go and smuggle, how you do these things, you learn from me, or you add sugar. So when you add sugar, they add other things. Or some they add sweet corns, they add sesame seed, they add jago, whatever, they throw in even local herbs. Why? Because Chinese think of, besides differentiations, they think of cut costs. You get me? Cut costs. You think sugar expensive or the coffee beans expensive? Of course. You think jago expensive or the coffee beans? So I have 1 kilo coffee beans, 1 kilo jagung, 1 kilo sugar, I reduce the cost. If I add some more other things, in total up, I reduce the cost further. So that's how we can get the local coffee powder much cheaper than the coffee beans. You get 1 kilo coffee powder from Achong, how much? You go and see coffee bean, 1 kilo 50 块 is you. And how come the coffee powder so cheap? Less than 10 ringgit because they add other things. So when Chinese come to think about, they think about money. Okay. So they reduce the cost. So there's a history behind it. My question finished. That's